What if a single drop of olive oil could help your knees stop screaming by 4 p.m.? You know that feeling when you stand up from a chair and your knees protest like rusty hinges, or when every stair feels like a mountain, especially after a long day. That deep, aching pressure. It doesn't just hurt, it holds you back. For many people over 50, it's become a daily reality. But what if the answer isn't another pill or a pricey supplement? What if it's something you already have in your kitchen? And all it takes is knowing where to put it? Because today, we're not just talking about olive oil as food. We're talking about how it interacts with your nerves, your circulation, and even your pain receptors. And there's one body point in particular that seems to change everything. Have you ever tried something simple that worked better than medicine? Drop a heart in the comments. I read every one. But here's the twist. It's not where you think. And in step number 4, we'll show the surprising reason why it works so fast. If your feet stay cold even under 2 blankets, Miss Sump, it's not the weather, it's your circulation. Robert is 67. He wears socks to bed, thick ones, every night. But his feet still feel like blocks of ice. He tried heated blankets, hot water bottles, even doubling up on socks. Nothing seemed to work. That's because after 50, blood doesn't reach the far ends of your body like it used to, especially the feet. Poor circulation and weaker nerve signals mean your toes start to feel colder, longer, and more often. And when the nerves slow down, the warmth doesn't register. Your body forgets how to heat itself properly. But then something simple changed everything. He started massaging the soles of his feet with a mix of warm olive oil and a single drop of ginger essential oil, just 5 minutes each night before bed. The warmth didn't just stay on the surface, it traveled deep. By the 3rd night, he said something surprising. My feet feel warm from the inside. Why ginger? It helps open up the tiny blood vessels. Olive oil carries it in. Together, they wake up sleepy capillaries and bring heat where it's needed most. And when circulation returns, sleep gets easier. Muscles relax. Even morning stiffness starts to fade. There's something almost emotional about it, too. Feeling warmth return to a place that's been numb for years feels like hope. And that warmth starts to carry over into confidence, into walking steadier, into feeling more like yourself. Have you ever felt your own feet slowly come back to life? It's like someone lit a small fire, just enough to make you feel human again. But the next point, right behind your knees, did something even Robert's doctor didn't expect. Can oil actually drain swelling from your knees? One woman says yes, after just 2 nights. Maria is 72. She walks with a cane, not because she's fragile, but because every step sends a sharp jolt through her right knee. It started years ago. A little stiffness in the mornings, a little swelling by night. But lately, the tightness behind her knee, that strange balloon-like pressure had gotten worse. Her doctor called it fluid buildup, a backup in her lymphatic system, right in the hollow spot behind her knee. And that's where the trouble began. When the lymph can't drain properly, inflammation builds. The back of the knee swells. Movement becomes stiff, slow, and painful. But then Maria heard something curious from her sister. She said to try warm olive oil, rub it in circles right behind the knee for just a few nights. Maria was skeptical, but desperate. So she warmed up a teaspoon of olive oil, added a towel to catch any drips, and gently rubbed clockwise in slow circles for 5 minutes each night. By the 2nd morning, she noticed something strange. The stiffness wasn't there. The swelling looked smaller, and when she stood up, the pain didn't shoot through like before. It felt manageable, even hopeful. By night 4, she had stopped using the cane around the house. There's science behind it too. That part of the knee is rich with lymph vessels. Gentle massage stimulates movement like squeezing toothpaste from a tube. Olive oil, warm and rich in antioxidants, helps reduce inflammation as it moves. And when the swelling goes down, walking gets easier. The fear of falling fades, and stairs don't feel like cliffs anymore. But if you're dealing with brain fog, point number 3 will surprise you even more. You'll never believe how olive oil on your neck changes your clarity after 3 days. Linda is 65. Most days, she forgets where she put her keys or why she walked into the kitchen. After lunch, her brain feels foggy, like someone dimmed the lights. It scared her. She worried it was early memory loss, but her doctor said it was something simpler, not enough oxygen getting to the brain. It's common after 60. The carotid arteries which send blood to your head can get narrowed. Circulation slows, and when your brain gets less oxygen, it gets harder to think. Then her granddaughter shared a video about a point behind the ear. Linda was skeptical, but she tried it anyway. She warmed a drop of olive oil between her fingers, then gently rubbed just below the skull, behind her ear, at a soft indentation known as feng qi. It's a spot used for centuries in Eastern medicine. It connects to circulation, tension, and even mood. She massaged in small circles, breathing slowly, twice a day. By the 3rd day, she noticed something strange. She walked into the kitchen and remembered why. She felt awake after lunch. Her thinking had edges again, sharp, not dull. It wasn't a miracle. It was more like a cloud had moved. On day 4, she even noticed less tightness in her jaw. The tension she used to carry there was gone. There's science behind it. Gentle stimulation at this point activates blood flow through the vertebral arteries. Olive oil's warmth encourages relaxation and helps vessels dilate. When more oxygen reaches the brain, clarity returns. The world feels brighter. Your thoughts steadier. Have you ever had one of those moments when the fog lifts and you feel like yourself again? But what about deep sleep? The answer lies near your belly. Rub here before bed, and your belly might start helping you sleep. George is 70. Every night feels the same. Dinner sits like a rock, and sleep dances just out of reach. He tries walking after meals, cutting out heavy foods, drinking warm tea, but still, when he lies down, his stomach churns, and his eyes stay wide open. He says, "It's like my body doesn't know how to shut down." Then he learns something surprising. Deep in your belly runs the vagus nerve and a highway that connects your gut to your brain. It controls digestion, and it plays a big role in sleep. When that nerve is sluggish, everything is. A friend suggested something strange. Take warm olive oil, just a teaspoon, rub it gently around the belly button, in slow clockwise circles, 5 minutes, right before bed. At first, George laughed. "Olive oil on my stomach? That's for salad." But that night, he tried it. By the 3rd night, something shifted. He didn't feel heavy. The gurgling stopped, and sleep just came. Soft and quiet. He woke up surprised, not just rested, but clear, light. He said it felt like his body had finally exhaled. And the bloating? It was gone. No more rolling side to side trying to get comfortable. Just stillness. Here's why it works. The gentle motion stimulates the vagus nerve. That calms your parasympathetic system, the part that says, it's okay to rest now. Olive oil helps warm and soften the area, reducing gut tension. Better digestion means less bloating, fewer late-night bathroom trips, and deeper, steadier sleep. And over time, it becomes a ritual, a quiet moment between body and mind when saying, you're safe, you can rest now. You know that moment when your body says thank you, and you finally drift off. But pain in your hands, That's where point number 5 changes everything. What happens when you rub just 3 drops on your wrists? More than you think. Alice is 69. Each morning, her hands feel like stone. She wakes up, tries to open a jar or tie her robe, and her fingers don't cooperate. The stiffness is worse in the cold, worse after sleep. Sometimes her joints crack just from pouring a cup of tea. She thought it was aging. It's just what happens, she told herself. But then her daughter brought her something new. Olive oil, mixed with a pinch of turmeric powder. Try this, she said. Rub it into your wrists and fingers, just once a day. Alice raised an eyebrow. That's for cooking, not healing. But she tried it. 3 drops, warmed in the palm, then gently massaged into her wrists and the base of each finger. The first day, nothing. The second, a little less crackling. By day 4, the tightness was less like a clamp and more like a stretch. And by day 7, she did something she hadn't done in months. She opened a new jar of jam with no help. There's a reason it works. Tiny joints get inflamed easily. When blood flow slows, they get stiff. Tendons shrink. Movement suffers. Turmeric helps reduce inflammation. Olive oil carries it deep into the tissues. And the massage brings circulation to forgotten corners. It's not magic, but it is something close. And the ritual matters too. Touching your hands with care. It's like telling your body, I still trust you. Alice now keeps a small bottle by her nightstand. She calls it her morning unlock. She even showed it to her neighbor, who now swears her knitting feels easier again. You know that moment when your fingers actually move the way you want them to? Still feel fatigued by midday? Wait till you hear what happens with point number 6. What if your energy tanked because of your ankles? Michael is 73. Most mornings he starts strong. A light breakfast, a walk, a few chores. But by 2 p.m., he's done. His eyelids droop, his mind fogs. He finds himself sitting in his recliner holding a cup of coffee he doesn't even want. He used to blame his age, or lunch, or just a bad night's sleep. But then a friend, a retired acupuncturist, said something strange. Check your kidneys, he said, or better yet, check your ankles. Specifically, a small spot just behind the inner ankle bone called the Tai Chi point. In traditional Chinese medicine, it's tied to kidney energy, the kind that fuels your entire system. Michael was skeptical, but curious. So the next morning, he took a drop of olive oil, added 1 drop of clove essential oil, then pressed his thumb into that small dip behind his ankle bone. He massaged gently, just 1 minute per side. Day 1, not much. Day 2, he skipped his afternoon nap. By day 4, he said something he hadn't said in years. I feel like I have gas in the tank again. That midday crash, the one that felt inevitable, wasn't there. There's science too. The Tai Chi point lies near nerves that influence adrenal function. Clove boosts circulation. Olive oil helps carry the warmth deep. And sometimes just waking up a forgotten nerve is enough to reset the rhythm. He even noticed something unexpected. Less tension in his lower back, more spring in his step. Now Michael does it every morning. 1 minute, 2 ankles. That's it. No pills, no sugar, just oil and intention. You know that moment when the clock hits 3 p.m. and you're still standing tall? But there's one more place, the one most people forget entirely. This point isn't on your face, but it makes your face look younger. Teresa is 66. Every morning her face feels heavy, puffy under the eyes, jawline blurred, skin dull, no matter how much she creams or hydrates. She tried jade rollers, face masks, cold spoons, but the puffiness, they always came back. Then she read about the lymph system, how it works like a drainage pipe, clearing out toxins and extra fluid. But if that pipe gets blocked, things back up. And it doesn't start on the face. It starts below the neck, specifically the collarbone. Right above it lies a cluster of lymph ducts. If they're tight or stagnant, nothing drains from the head. So Teresa tried something simple. She took a drop of warm olive oil and gently massaged the area just above her collarbones, 2 minutes each side, morning and night. By day 3, she noticed it. Her face looked lighter, less puffed. Her cheeks had a glow she hadn't seen in months. She even sent a selfie to her daughter. "No filter," she wrote. It wasn't just the appearance, it was the feeling, like someone had opened a valve. The tension around her temples softened. Her shoulders felt looser. Here's why it works. Gentle strokes along the collarbone signal the body to move lymph. Olive oil warms and softens the tissue, helping fluid shift. And when lymph flows, the face depuffs, the skin brightens, the eyes look clearer. It's not skincare, it's care through the skin. Now Teresa adds this to her nightly routine. She says it's the first time in years she's woken up liking how she looks. You know that feeling when you see yourself in the mirror and smile without effort. And now, the final point. The one that even surprised doctors. This spot is rarely mentioned, but it could bring back more than just energy. Frank is 71. Lately, he's been quiet about something that's hard to talk about. His energy was okay, his heart fine, but when it came to intimacy, things felt distant, weaker, less alive. He also noticed something else, a tightness in his hips, an ache in his lower back. Sometimes it even hurt to sit too long. It all felt disconnected. Then, during a visit with an old friend who practiced bodywork therapy, he heard something unexpected. "You might not need a pill," his friend said. "You might just need to wake up your pelvis." The suggestion? Massage with olive oil. Focused on 2 areas, the sacrum, that bony triangle at the base of the spine, and the inner thighs. Frank was hesitant, but willing. He warmed the oil in his hands, took his time, circular motions at the base of the spine, long, gentle strokes up the inner thigh. He did it every night, quietly, privately. By day 5, something shifted. He described it like this. It's like the blood came back, and with it came feeling. The tension eased, the dull ache faded, and a subtle aliveness returned. Even his posture changed. He stood taller, walked lighter. Here's what's happening. The pelvic floor, a web of muscles that can become stiff with age. That stiffness chokes off blood flow, especially to sensitive areas. But warm oil and intentional touch help release it. When circulation returns, sensation follows. Confidence too. Frank doesn't talk much, but now when he hugs his wife, he holds her just a little longer. You know that feeling, not just of being alive, but of wanting to be. But the real magic to me isn't just physical. It's emotional. Let's close with something deeper. You don't need another prescription. You need to feel heard. Not everyone believes olive oil can do all this. Some call it too simple, too gentle, too ordinary. But the truth is, when you stop and really listen to your body, even something small can feel extraordinary. It's not just oil. It's a reminder that your body hasn't given up on you, that healing doesn't always come in a bottle. Sometimes it comes from your own 2 hands. Think about what you did this week. You touched your feet and brought warmth back into them. You massaged your knees and walked with more ease. You rubbed your belly and finally slept. You gave your fingers attention, and they started to open again. You pressed your ankles, and the fog lifted at 3 p.m. You stroked your collarbone, and your face lit up. You reached behind your back and felt alive again. And through all of it, you remembered something powerful, that you matter, that how you feel matters, and that slowing down is also a form of strength. Picture this: a quiet room, soft light, a pair of older hands resting on a tired knee, not pushing, not fixing, just saying, "I'm still here, I still care." That's what olive oil is. Not a cure, a connection, a pause, a breath, a way to say, "I'm listening." We spend so much of our lives chasing energy, chasing comfort, chasing sleep. But what if you stopped chasing and simply turned inward? That's what this is. A ritual, a conversation between you and the part of you that's been waiting. And maybe in those few minutes, you come home to yourself. Try just one spot tonight. And if it makes you feel even a little better, share it with someone you love, because you never know. A single drop might be all it takes. And if you're curious, there's one more spot we haven't talked about, the one that helps memory. I'll share that in the next video.